तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses, which took place in Shampukur in North Kolkata on 18 October 1885. It was the day of Vijayadashami, around 8 in the morning. Just the winter is setting in, and since it is Vijayadashami, you know, Durga Puja is held in a very elaborate way in West Bengal, especially in Calcutta. Even in that time also, Durga Puja in image was being worshipped in different installations, including the house of Surendranath Mitra, an ardent devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. We are aware that Surendranath Mitra was a very close devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, his emotional devotee. Now we have to understand the significance of worshipping God in image. God is present everywhere, and we know that God is infinity. Infinity does not have any form. If anything has a form, then it is limited by the dimension. But God cannot be bound by a dimension. He is everywhere. So now there is a dichotomy. If God is infinity, Nirakar, without any limit, without any form, present everywhere, then how that God can be worshipped within a form? So it is told that those who are beginners, they cannot conceive of any God where there is no dimension. It is easier said than thought. We cannot conceive of anything which is formless. We can only think of anything with a name and form. So it is told that the same formless God takes an appearance, limited form, and there is no difference. Now there is a common belief that those who are incapable of thinking of God without form, for them they should start with a God with form, and that is the beginning of religion. So there is a inferiority complex. Those who believe in form, they are inferior to those who do not believe in form. Please remember that when Sri Ramakrishna had interacted with Master Mahashaya, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, during the time of introduction, way back in 1881, asked M, "What is your conception of God?" He said, "Sir, I prefer thinking of God without form." Sri Ramakrishna said, "Very well, go ahead with this thought." He appreciated. Then that M asked a very pertinent question. "Sir, if God is being formless, how can He be having a form at the same time? They are contradiction to each other." Then Sri Ramakrishna said, "No, the God can take form and without form also." The name went further and said, "Should he not tell those who are worshipping God with form that they are doing a mistake? Actually, God doesn't have any form. It is for the preliminary belief they should think." Then Sri Ramakrishna is very much annoyed. There were Calcutta people always want to teach others without getting the truth themselves. You do not know whether God is with form or without form. You have a belief. You follow that, realize God. What business you have to correct others? That is a peculiar trend Sri Ramakrishna identified of those who are belonging to big cities and have acquired some degrees. They have an aristocracy. That vain ego that they belong to a metro city, they are little well off, they are educated, and they little realize that they are spiritually far backward. Unfortunately, that same trend is still present. The people of Calcutta and big metro cities have this vain ego that they are having a much better intelligence. Sri Ramakrishna defined knowledge, Gyan. Those who know God, they are Jnani. Others are Ajnani. So here also we find that Surendra, he believed with God with form and he worshipped Devi Durga in his household. Now you know that Durga Puja is held for 3-4 days, and afterwards the image, usually the clay image, is drowned in river. In Calcutta it is drowned in the Ganges. But that is a very tragic incident, that the God whom you worshipped for so many days, at the end of the worship, you not only part with the God, you consign it in the river. So that is a very difficult reaction to hold. That's what Surendra Mitra also happened like this. He said that I could not withstand the pang of separation from the Divine Mother, because to him the image and the Divine Mother are inseparable. God is present in that form. At the end of the worship, how can you throw in the Ganges? It is an inhuman action. For him, God is not just an image, a piece of clay. For him, it is actual God, whom he worshipped for 3 days, thinking that it is alive. He offered fruits, that sweets, etc., thinking that God is really present and taking those. And after the period is over, how can you just throw that image in the Ganges? So he could not withstand this blow, so he came away to Sri Ramakrishna. You can kind of remember, similar thing happened with Mathuranath Biswas. Once Mathuranath Biswas arranged Durga Puja in his Jan Bazar house. There also at the time of Vijaya Dashami, Mathuranath Biswas said that I will not throw this image to the Ganges, I will worship her for the rest of the year. Now the Purohits, they became alarmed because this is against the scriptural injunctions. After the worship, this has to be Visarjan. Muktinathan said, nothing doing. For me, this is not an image, it is Mother herself. So I will not allow. So when the matter went beyond control, then they sent word to Sri Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar, and he rushed towards the Muktinathan's house. Now, Sri Ramakrishna explained the matter there. He said that, you see, God is present in the clay image, not permanently, temporarily. God is present within the heart of the devotee throughout the year. At the time of the worship, that God or Goddess from the heart of the devotees is taken away, taken out and stationed for worship for a few days. After the worship is over, then that same Goddess goes back from where she came. That is your heart. And the clay image is thrown in the Ganges. That is the idea. Here also Sri Ramakrishna said. Surendra said that I could not withstand that pang of separation. I came away. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, what if the image is thrown into the water? May Mother dwell in the heart. So actually, the human heart is the seat of God. As told in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam riddeshe arjuna tishtati brahman sarva bhutani jantra rurani mayaya. This is chapter 18, verse 61 in Bhagavad Gita. God or Goddess, Mother or God, is present within the heart of the devotees. And she is manipulating. She is making the run as per her wish. This is the idea. Now here also the same idea was thrown. Now God was present within the heart. Now for the 3 days in Durga Puja, that God was taken away mentally and placed in the image so that we can interact with God in a concrete fashion. This is the idea. When we worship God in a form, then we can interact with God in a concrete, regular form, not in an abstract way. Formless puja is an abstract. It cannot be conceived. So it takes further when the devotee, he is not happy to conceive of God in a form, he wants to interact with God in a living human form, not in an inert image of clay or a picture or a photograph. He wants to worship God in a living dynamic condition. जीता जागता मनुष्य के रूप में भगवान को पूजा करना चाहते हैं. The devotees want to worship God in a human form. So by the prayer of the devotees, God actually takes a human form and comes in this world to bestow grace on the devotees, to satisfy the devotees' demand. So Ramakrishna, Buddha, etc. and Ramakrishna were such divine incarnations. There is no difference between God and the avatar. It's called avatar, incarnation of God. So when that wonderful transformation takes place, then we say that avatar has been born. You have to understand that when God takes a human form, it is much different than the biological process. He is not born just like any other beings. For any other beings, taking a birth is a biological process, but God is beyond. So God is born in a spiritual way. When you read the Ramcharitmanas, you will read that is रामचंद्र का जब जन्म हुआ वो प्रकट हो गए, he manifested. Sri Krishna was born in the jail, Kamsa's jail, from his parents Vasudeva and उनका श्री कृष्ण के मदर में उधर देवकी. So Shri Krishna was born as a biological child. Because the description here, when that child was born, he was born with total assets and ornaments and clothes. Normally, no child is born in a nursing home or a hospital in this way. The child is born naked with blood, etc. Nothing was there. The description in Bhagavatam. So we cannot equate an incarnation of God like any other human being. It's an alokik. Alokik janma hota hai. It is a matter of belief. And that same being is no different than the infinite God. Now it is very difficult to reconcile how a human being with a definite form is equated with the all omnipotent, omniscient, omnipotent God. All powerful God is equated to a person who has a limited form. This cannot be explained. It's a fact. How the infinite is taking a finite form, this is beyond our reasoning. But the phenomenon is explained as that water can be concentrated as ice. Ice and water are of same properties, but the form is different. Ice takes a concrete form, water is without form, but both are same. This example is given. Now, the taste of pudding is in its eating. Now, whether the same God is appearing in the human form and no different from the image, this is, in this particular episode, has been proved. That's why it is most important description here. Just the penultimate day, that is Navami day, when Surendranath was sitting in his Utsava chamber and he was very much emotionally charged that he could not bring Sri Ramakrishna to witness this puja. So he was shedding tears and he was missing his Guru, Sri Ramakrishna. Now Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning that you never knew that I came there. I came there, I witnessed the puja, and then after the bhajans, I came away. You could not realize, because he went here in a Sukshma Sharir. But what was concrete, he says, a beam of light emanated from Shampukur and went straight to this Surendra's house in Pathuriya Ghat, and a spiritual current flew from his body to the image. It's not a fantastic story. It actually happened the previous day and the devotee saw it. A beam of light is flowing from the body of Sri Ramakrishna and went straight to the deity of Devi Durga. They felt very much happy and joyful, and this incident has inspired Surendranath that God is benign, God is with us. If we call on Him, He will definitely respond. Now with this, we must have a positive sense, positive attitude towards life. What are we after? We are after realizing God. We must have a clear conception that whether it is possible for us to realize God. Now, if you think and try to meditate, you will find it is extremely difficult to think of God without any form. Whereas we can think of God with a form and with a deity like Shiva, Durga, Kali, Krishna, or some avatar, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Sri Ram, Krishna. So when we think of God with a form, it becomes very easy for us to have a conception of God, and we must know that form ultimately melts into formless, and both are one and the same. That is how we should initiate our spiritual journey, and at the end must realize that these miniature gods, representations of gods, are one and the same with the same reality. So with this, Sri Ramakrishna has inspired his devotees to march ahead on their path of spiritual journey. Spiritual journey is not a matter of theory or discussion or debate. There must be actual realization. Sri Ramakrishna says that to see God is the goal of life. Swami Vivekananda says religion is realization. To us, religion is a matter of debate and discussion and forming an opinion. It is not a theoretical process. Religion is a practical, direct process of experience. If God is there, we must see God and interact with God. God must talk to us. The Surendra tells here, on the day of Navami, he was very much morose because he could not see God. Then he said, I saw Mother. And Mother had a conversation with me. Now, Surendra, you see, Surendra is not a very great spiritual leader. He is a devotee of working in that merchant house in Calcutta. But even he had the vision of the Divine Mother, living vision. His heart was full of joy. So in this episode, Sri Ramakrishna is telling us that the goal of life is to realize God, and that can be done here and now. If you have not yet realized God, call on God with sincerity, and the goal will be available to you surely, as it was available to Surendranath Mitra. He became blessed. So this note you must accept in a scientific form. If God is present in an image for Surendranath, then he is present in image for anyone who worships God. With this input, we must integrate our spiritual life and make it a blessed journey. We'll continue our discussion further in our next Sunday class. Niranjanam nityam ananta rupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Any question? Aye. Now, Yes. बताओ।
प्रणाम सर। महाराज जी, प्रश्न हमारा ये है कि ईश्वर का हम लोग अनुभव कर सकते हैं, तो ईश्वर का अनुभव जब कर सकते हैं हम लोग, तो फिर ये मूर्ति पूजा क्यों?
क्या अनुभव कर सकते हैं?
जी, तो मतलब मूर्ति पूजा सही है या मूर्ति पूजा के द्वारा ही क्यों?
देखिए, अनुभव करना मतलब है यू कैन फील गॉड, एंड अनुभव इज ए डायरेक्ट एक्सपीरियंस। अनुभव करने का सम इंस्ट्रूमेंट है हमारे, चक्षु करना, नासिका, जीवा, त्वक। अनुभव करना मतलब है ईश्वर का दर्शन करना, उनको स्पर्श करना, उनको बातचीत सुनना। ये है अनुभव करने का हमारा उपाय। तो वी कैन इंटरैक्ट विथ द वर्ल्ड इन ए डायरेक्ट वे, बट फॉर अस God is an invisible being. God is not present with us in a form. Sri Ramakrishna says God appears in a human form, and you can interact with him or her depending on your choice. And that is the goal of life. That is demonstrated here. He has demonstrated to Narendranath. Last week we discussed. This year we have discussed that Surendranath Mitra was not an Ishwar Koti. He is an ordinary, apparently an ordinary man, working in a merchant house. But he had faith. What is necessary in spiritual life is Viswas. You must have faith that it is possible. Most of us do not believe. We think it is all bogus. Then it can make it. For time immemorial, our rishis have seen God. Sri Ramakrishna has seen God and is showing it to others and is telling us that we can also see Him. So better to follow His advice and see for ourselves whether God is visible or not. That is the idea.
धन्यवाद। महाराज जी, एक प्रश्न और है। जैसे हम सभी लोग ईश्वर का स्वरूप है, ईश्वर की संतान है,
ये जो अनुभूति, यही है धर्म। धर्म कोई बात वितंडा, विवेक, विचार, स्लोगन, झगड़ा लड़ाई की बात नहीं है। फॉर रिलीजन, फॉर अस रिलीजन इज ए रिलीजियस स्ट्राइफ टू एस्टैब्लिश वन मतम। Matam is not dharma. We want to establish a religious tradition. That is the way to reach God. But God is a matter of realization. Anybody can realize God, irrespective of his way of religion. That is Sri Ramakrishna drawing us to that direction. That make your life blessed by seeing God in this life with these eyes. Believe in it, proceed, and see for yourself. If you outright reject, then you cannot proceed. This is the idea.
जैसे हम सभी लोग ईश्वर का स्वरूप हैं, तो फिर हमारे अंदर तो ये जो विभिन्न प्रकार की बुराइयां हैं ये नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हम लोग ईश्वर का स्वरूप हैं, तो सब कुछ तो अच्छा अच्छा होना चाहिए। तो ये जो विभिन्न प्रकार की बुराइयां हैं, जैसे कोई किसी को मार देता है, कोई किसी को कुछ कह देता है, ये कहाँ से फिर आ जाता है? ये तो नहीं आना चाहिए अगर हम लोग ईश्वर के स्वरूप हैं।
देखो, बात ही है, the world will have a variety. You cannot think of an ideal world where there is no difference. There will be good and bad, evil and bad. So you have to choose the good and reject the evil. There cannot be imaginary world where everything is good. World will be with a pair of opposite. Our job is to seek the good, reject the evil. That is the goal of life. Why there is good and bad is all waste of time. That's not our job. Our job is that we are in this world, it is as it is. Our job is to see God first, and then we will understand why there is difference. So we close down. If you have any other question, you can send me over the email. Email number is known to us. We close now with the chanting of the Lord. In the meantime, I want to announce that next 26th Wednesday we'll have a Shivaratri Utsav, a program throughout the night. And next Saturday, 1st of March, we have the beginning of the birthday celebration, 9 days long, of Sri Ramakrishna. Detailed program is given. Please join. Now we close with the chanting of the Lord. Please join with me. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om.